all of these overnight cues impact our Indian market? We now have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like and the stocks that are likely to be in the news. Let me first start off with how the trade setup looks like. Well, the markets in India continue to slip for the second straight week. Both the Sensex as well as the Nifty are down almost 1% each last week. Keep in mind that the previous week started off with hopes on a mini trade deal between the India and the US, but there has been no clarity yet. That does reflect on the kind of caution we're seeing in the Indian markets. IT has been the biggest drag on Nifty last week. Take a look at HCL Tech, TCS and Wipro. They were among the top losers. On the flip side, what did well was the FMCG index. It was in fact the only sectoral index which was in the green. Now, when we look at the broader markets, they continue to underperform the benchmark indices. The Nifty mid cap as well as Nifty small cap fell somewhere around 1.5% last week, and the losses were actually led by some capital market plays, which included BSE and MCX, which were the top mid cap losers. Now, as far as this week's session and today's session is concerned, as far as economic cues are concerned, we'll be watching out for India's WPI and CPI data, which will come today. Later this week, we'll also be keeping an eye out on China's GDP, India's trade balance data, as well as the US core CPI and PPI data. Now, today's news flow will largely be dominated by numbers. Results, we're keeping an eye out on HCL Tech, Tata Technologies, Ola Electric, Rallis India, as well as Tejas Networks. There's also a new listing lined up today. Travel Food Services will make it to the Lal Street, so we'll be watching out for that. And a new IPO opens. Anthem Biosciences will be launching its 3,395 crore IPO. Important levels on the downside, the support comes in at 25,000. On the upside, 25,350 could be a resistance. Let's take a look at what the GIFT Nifty is indicating. It'll come up for you on the screen in just a bit. It's indicating a negative start, down almost 43 points. But then let's also focus in on the stocks that will be in focus today. Ria is here to take us through that. Ria.
Good morning, ma'am. Actually, let's take a look at the stocks that are going to be in focus today. First up, VIP Industries to be in focus, since the promoters are set to sell a 32% stake in the company at a price of rupees 388 per share. Apart from this, going on to the Q1 numbers and the business updates for Avenue Supermarts, the net profit has been largely stable at 773 crores in this quarter, and the revenue has been seen going up by around 16.3% compared to the previous year. For Sula Vineyards, they've come out with their Q1 business update. Net revenue has been seen going down by around 7.9% over the previous year. For all cargo terminals, the June CFS volumes are down about 4.5% month on month. Going on to Ajmera Realty for the Q1 update as well, the sales value has declined by around 65% on a year-on-year basis, but if you look at the collections, those have gone up by around 42%. For Kolte Patil developers as well, the collections have been seen going up by around 10% compared on a year-on-year basis. And for IRB Infra, the June toll collections have gone up by around 5% compared to the previous year. Moving on from these three pharma stocks will be in focus today. First up is Gland Pharma. They've received the GMP compliance certificate from the Danish medicines agency. For Wockhardt, they have exited the US generics business, which had been loss-making for the past several years, and the focus will now shift to the innovative portfolio of the company. For Glenmark Pharma, they have received a warning letter from the US FDA for its Indore facility. So all three of these stocks will be in focus. Two other stocks to keep on your radar. NCC has bagged a contract from MMRDA worth about rupees 2,269 crores for the Mumbai Metro Line 6. And the last one is Akzo Nobel. JSW Paints has launched a 3,929 crore open offer to acquire up to 25.2% stake in the company.
Thanks for that, Ria. And finally, we now have Mangalam joining in with cues from the F&O space. Monday blues for the market, Mangalam?
Monday blues for the market, but it was more of an extension of the Friday blues that we saw. If you look at it, on Friday, we saw a sharp gash on the frontline indices, and this despite the Nifty Bank not falling as much. In fact, the Nifty Bank was an outperformer on that trading session. It was led lower by the IT stocks. The broader markets, while the mid-cap index fell in line with the frontline, the advanced decline tells you that there were way more number of stocks which were lower than the number of stocks which were higher, so the portfolios would be bleeding. We did see a small spike in the India VIX, which is a positive because the India VIX has been so contained that it may have been pricing in some sort of complacency, and that's something that I'll be watching out for today as well. There was a big sell-off by the FIs in cash market, in stock futures, in index futures, and in index options. So cash market sell was close to 5,100 crores. In index futures, they've been net short, but they've only increased their shorts a lot more. They sold almost 3,500 crores, unwound 6,000 longs, and added 12,000 shorts. So as a result of which, the net short contract for the FIIs this time around has crossed that 1 lakh mark. So in the last 4 trading sessions itself, Longs have come down from 29% to 20%, while the net short exposure has increased to 1 lakh contracts. And they've also sold 1665 crores in stock futures, like I pointed earlier. And in index options, they sold almost 3200 crores, and they added twice the number of calls on the short side as the number of puts, telling you that on the way up, there will be a lot of supply coming in, much more than the support that we're likely to see. What is that supply likely to be at? Around 25,300 call. That's been extremely active. 25,200 call. That's been equally active as well. So between 25,300 to 25,400, we might see some sort of supply. But at lower levels, the 25,000, psychologically important, put writers are fairly active out there as well. From a technical level standpoint, the Nifty 20-day moving average will be the resistance. For the Nifty Bank, the 20-day moving average will be a support because that's where it bounced from. And for the Nifty IT index, 100-day moving average will be a support. Just watch out for Glenmark, who was one of the stocks of the day on Friday, but has entered F&O ban.
Thanks for that, Mangalam. But let's